Alright guys, how we doing? We're back here for another Peraglees to Ulathrian Resistance update, our indie game which we are developing, and yeah, big changes are coming to this build, mostly optimization and some other new features as well. Two big features actually, which is pretty cool. So we'll just get into it. We'll just go onto the desktop here. So we'll open the show notes here. Right, so this is from build 252. I think we're up to 283 now. And this release is just focusing on optimizations. In some scenarios, GPU usage on a 6800 XT 16 gig could get as high as 30 to 90% utilization. No joking, and we're going to show that off today. We fixed it now, and yeah, it's running smooth now. This was causing major frame drops, even on a high-end CPU, such as an AMD 5900X. So, you know, ClickTeam Fusion is not multi-threaded, it's like single-threaded, I think, or it uses 2 cores, something like that. But the reason why we were getting these terrible frame drops is because we relied on an object called character image for text splitting. What text splitting is, it draws bitmapped characters as text, so we can create our own fonts in the game instead of just using standard text, which won't look good in a game. We've replaced this extension for another one now. Now on an AMD 6800 XT 16 gig, utilization is around 3 to 5%. And that's an excellent place to be because, you know, if the game is only using 3 to 5% of a 6800 XT, you can guarantee that it's going to work amazing on, let's say, for example, a Steam Deck. So we haven't got a Steam Deck to test. We know the game works. We know the game runs perfectly on a Steam Deck. But yeah, it's just a better place to be, and hopefully Steam Deck users will get the benefits of all this performance now. So we've got a lot of stuff. So we fixed some bugs, we added some stuff, we've modified a load of things. We've added a new stage, and we put some music in here by Diives, which was already in the game for the title screen, but I wanted it's like a really impactful tune. So you know, I wanted to put that in like the second to last stage. Now, talking about performance, let's go to an older build here. So we're on 256. Is that in the show notes? 252. So it's a little bit on from the show notes here. So if I just go into a level here, and we'll load it up. There won't be any music or sound effects in this build because it's not in the project path. But you can see here, like, you can see the frame rate isn't that consistent. It's like going down to 50 sometimes, like if we roll and stuff. I don't know, maybe, yeah, maybe it's all right. It's settled in a little bit. Yeah, you can see it like kind of dipping down to 50. So in the levels, like, the frame pacing wasn't really consistent. And yeah, you can probably, I don't know if you can notice it in this video, YouTube and the way OBS records and stuff, but there's a little, you can see it hitching a little bit, and I was always devastated about that. I was like, wow, is this just a Fusion engine thing? But it turns out it's not. So if we press 60 FPS here, these are the old text splitters we're using, right? And turn off the debugger, we'll go in the options menu, we'll turn on the debugger again. Oh dear, look at that, 33 FPS, and it's because, like, look, if we go back to the game, it goes back to 60, and it's because we're using individual strings for these text splitters, and the more of these text splitters you have, and the more text each text splitter has, the more performance dip it is. So let's just go back to the game here, and let's open up our task manager and go into performance. So the game here now, just running on a level, it's using 6%, 5-6%, CPU is 9%, you know, we're recording with OBS here. But if we go in the options menu, and then we go back to our task manager, look at that GPU utilization. 85% on a Radeon 6800 XT, and it's all down to these tech splitters. And I couldn't wrap my head around it. I was like, one, why is it using so much GPU? And two, basically just what the hell is going on? So, me and some guy in the Click Team Discord, we were talking about this, and it turns out that it's software-based. So, Click Team Fusion has multiple things you can do to render the actual game itself. So, our game renders in DirectX 11, but you can go as low as DirectX 8, or you can even go on standard, which is, I think that is just drawn by the CPU. But yeah, we go on DirectX 11 because we want all the modern niceties, so all the new shaders, all the, performance, what you would get off DirectX 11 rather than DirectX 8 or 9. You know, we use a lot of transparencies and stuff, and when you use them in DirectX 8 and 9, they're kind of broken and stuff. So, yeah, it was very important that we could get DirectX 11. But if you go on standard, apparently them tech splitters, I haven't tested it, but apparently them tech splitters work. So, what we've done now, this is our new build. We're on build 283 here. So if we run this, we're going to get music and sound effects on this because it's in the project path. Right, okay. So, you can see here that we're running at a consistent 60. Like, I know it bumps up to 61, but, you know, it's just the way Fusion counts the frame rate. But it's very important not to go below 60, right? Because you're going to get these skips. And, like, this is a smooth 60 here. And that's all down to us implementing this new pause menu here. And yeah, like you can scroll along to different like places here. So you've got graphics, and the good thing is about this menu is we can actually add more options in the future, whereas the old one we couldn't. We were limited. I limited the game while I was programming it. So this is a awesome options menu now. We can add new features and everything, and it's going to be cool. So if you remember it was using 83% of our GPU. Like, look at that now. Even though we're recording in OBS, 5-6%, like sometimes 7% because of OBS. And yeah, look at this. It's just a flat, nice consistency here. CPU, when OBS isn't recording, it's like 3%, not even 3%, sometimes like 2%. And yeah, because we've added these a new way to do tech splitters, I've thought I'd add a new feature to the game. So 120 FPS, so it's experimental. So if we go back, it's, oh my god, it's just so silky smooth. Like, look at this. Well, we're getting frame drops a little bit because of OBS. Actually, let's have a look. Is that, hang on, is this double buffed as well? I don't know if I turned, was it VSync? I don't know, let's just try that. But that is definitely because of OBS, but we can achieve a solid 120 FPS now. Right, okay. Yeah, it's just because of OBS, but there you go. Goes down to 60 when it can. Well, that's the thing. It goes down to 60 when you can't achieve it, which is good as well because it fits in like a 240 hertz panel, or you know. But hang on, let's take another look at this. Like number of back frames to render. Let's set that to 3. Okay. Alright, okay. But anyway, it's there, it's experimental, and what's that? Increases numbers to get better performance with VSync. Cons uses more increased memory and latency. Well, we're not worried about memory in the game, because how much does it use? Yeah, 105 megabytes at the moment on this level. It's nothing. But yeah, when you're not recording, you can achieve a solid 120 FPS. Let's just have a look at this performance here. Yeah, so it's still not even using much. It's just because maybe the game is on one of these threads, what OBS is using. Possibly, I'm not sure. Well, there we go. And it's experimental as well. We've still got a lot of bugs to figure out. So, let's just go back to 60 FPS. Alright. Okay. And let's talk about this. So, fix some bugs. Stone Slitter AI works great now. So, let's go back into the... No, I don't want to save that build. Let's go back into the editor here. Goblins. Let us turn off goblins. Okay. Right. 200. And are we on the player layer? Yes, we are. Let's go to goblins. No. Enemy machines. Let's put a stone slitter here. Now, the stone slitter used to have... It was buggy. It was really buggy. And, yeah. Here he is now. And he just follows the player. There we go. So, he's all nice and fixed now. So, we got that. What else? When player rolled behind a goblin truck, what was it? Truck goblin turret, and got on the turret, player would mount the turret and be behind the truck. Yeah, so basically, you know, let's have a little look at this one. So, yeah, if the player rolled behind, like, he wouldn't, like, explode or whatever. So, there you go. Because, obviously, this truck can still hurt you. The player would literally just be behind here and just stuck until you destroyed the truck. So, yeah, we got rid of that. We fixed that bug. When using weapons with splash damage or the Mega Bomb with multiple enemies on screen, health damage counter was set to 0 on some enemies. So basically what was happening... We'll get a few enemies here. Let's just draw a couple of these. Right. So... Let's load this up. Right, okay. So basically what was happening is... you get these numbers coming off a truck or any object what can be hurt, and that's just to indicate how much damage you're doing. So if you don't like a Mega Bomb, only one would be counting up with the 20s, and the rest would be like shooting up zeros. And how we fix that is, if we go into the chiclet, it was a bit of a lazy fix, but it worked, and I'm happy with it. So, you know, whatever. If it works, it works. So if we go into player bullets, and we go to Mega Bomb, we can see that we've duplicated the code how many times? So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We duplicated it 10 times. So, how Fusion works is this code goes down like this, and it executes 60 times a second or 120 times a second in the new experimental FPS mode. And yeah, it sets this counter to 20. So we only had one line before, but now I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to copy and paste this code 10 times, see if it works. I know it's lazy because you're duplicating code, but like if it works, and it did. So yeah, we done that. Really happy with that. When Slave collects power-ups and weapons, the text string identifier now shows. So yeah, for some reason it did work in the past, but for whatever reason it got broken and we fixed it again, so it's fine. Right, so what did we add? We added gunflare effect to missile truck. So that truck, you just seen them firing missiles, it had like a flare coming off it. Gunflare to missile launcher, so same thing for that. Car driving now has different speeds per difficulty, so that's cool. Red glow around Ferrin boss. So yeah, a couple of people were saying that the boss was a little bit hard to see on level 8. So we've just added like a bit of redness around him now, because he does kind of blend into the textures a little bit, doesn't he? So maybe we can add like a bit of a filter to him as well. Maybe like make him a bit green or something. I don't know. Like, let's actually try that. Let's try that now. Let's see what he looks like. RGB coefficient. Let's add like a bit. I don't know actually. Yeah, kind of looks. Oh, it's too dark there. Maybe a green might suit him. I'm not sure. Let's just see how that looks in game. Maybe I'll leave that. Alright, okay. Yeah. So basically there's code when he flashes, it'll flash red and then just go back to a normal colour. So I'm gonna have to just fix that. But for now the red does its purpose, so I'm happy with that. Flame sound effect for boss 2, so yeah, it's basically when the flame from the tank comes. I added this in a later boss and I just thought like, hey, you know, what if we just add that to the second boss as well? Yeah. So modified Goblin Cave now has more health depending on difficulty. Cave spawn goblins now have an alpha fade effect on them. So if we just go back to the engine here and we go to our enemy machines and we just get a Goblin Cave. Basically what used to happen, they used to just pop into existence and walk out. But now we've got a nice like fade for them to come out. See that? Yeah. Just looks, hey, Dexter got one. And another one. Good boy. So, yeah. So we've done that. Goblin Cave now spawns goblins faster, depending on difficulty. Caravan, the caravan is the same as the cave, basically, but with a different animation. Stone Slitter now has higher health per difficulty. Fire rate of missile turret is now faster per difficulty. Increased tank fire rate on extreme mode. Yes, the tanks are more devastating on extreme mode now. I remember one player actually saying that the tanks were too hard, but I think that they should be really hard because they're a tank, right? So, you know, added alternate fire rates per difficulty to missile truck, so that's sorted now. Missile truck now has higher health. Goblin truck has higher health. Increased goblin spawn rate on goblin truck per difficulty. Car driving now has higher health per difficulty. Greatly improved AI of goblin static turret and flying turret. Yes, they needed I just thought they were like pointless in the game because they didn't really do much apart from spawn a turret or a flying turret for the player. Like they need to be a bit of a challenge. So yeah, we improved that. Rocket launcher now has higher health per difficulty. Oh, missile launcher, sorry. Missile launcher is now aggressive per difficulty. Missile launcher now has higher timeout. What does higher time? You know what? I can't even remember that. Missile launcher, higher timeout. Let's have a little look at that. Let's explore. Explore. The code. Let's have a look. I should where is it? Moving, non-moving. So missile launcher. What was the text? It has a higher timeout. AI. No. Fire missiles, higher timeout. Oh, yes. So it just means resetting this loop. So, yeah, depending on what difficulty you're on, it's just got a higher timeout. The reason why I'd done that is because soon as a missile, like turret, as soon as it gets on screen, it will fire. And the reason why I've done that is because most of the time a player will just keep going up. And I wanted to penalize the player for not like going up and then retreating back and firing. Do you know what I mean? Like, so if you just go up to it, it's going to hit you. If you detect it and you're quick enough, you know, you go back, you fire at it, do a mega bomb, continue up. It's just better for the gameplay loop, I feel. So yeah, okay, cool. Right, okay. Enemy health damage counter is now less intrusive. Yeah, so ages ago the damage counter it was all over the place, you know, like them numbers when you shoot an enemy and they spray off. Well, yeah, I decided to make the alpha less intensive on that, so like now it looks a lot better. Ground dust in 3.9 levels, so all we have to do is change the color on them. It's a very basic procedure. So this is like just the engine template here. If we decide to add more new zones, let's have a look. Where is that? So yeah, basically what we do here, this is ground dust. So when you shoot a goblin, he goes up and he goes down and then he lies dead on the floor. One of these actually appear and they expand and stuff. What we need to do is change the RGB coefficient here depending on the texture, you know, get the color kind of like the texture, but if not like a little bit lighter, just to emphasize that there's dust on the ground there. So we done that. Remove the pause menu from menu screens such as character select menu, game over menu, game over screen, for example. You can still access the pause menu on the main menu and playing in game. So yeah, they're the only places you can actually get in the pause menu now and it makes sense as well because you don't want to go on the pause menu when you're in a cutscene because the game won't progress without user input anyway. So it's kind of like its own pause screen. So if you need to run to the toilet or go get a drink and it's on the cutscene screen, then it's not going to go anywhere, is it? So, and you've got no enemies firing at you, so there's no point in having a pause menu. Because I've done this as well, I know it's not a big thing for you guys, but it's getting rid of these pause screens and getting rid of the old character text blitters. What's it called? It's like reduce the source code by about 15 megabytes, and like the loading of the source code and how efficient it's made the editor as well, and how smooth it is. Yeah, it's that was a big win for me. So we've added Free Night Stage 2 with Boss, and Glenn's made a new tune here. I need to add Glenn to the notes here, but what's it called? If we go here, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of this level. So let's have a little look. So you got your Latvian warrior soldiers ready to fight with you, and they actually do fight with you. Like, they've start fighting these things here for you. And depending on what difficulty it is, they do more damage. So if we go on difficulty casual, they will absolutely obliterate stuff for you. But if we go on extreme mode, yeah, they're going to take a little bit longer to kill stuff for you, which is good. Right, we're just going debug mode and we're going casual. We're going to go straight to the boss. I'm going to show you a little bit of this boss. So this is Glenn's new tune. Love this. It's like, oh my god. You know. And obviously this is just on very easy, so... And the Latvians have finally come back up. Yeah, and they've attacked the boss as well. And there we go. So, as well, this is not... That level is not going to... It may be in this build, I don't know, this build coming up, but we've also been working on the last level, and I'll give you a little sneak peek of this. We've actually started drawing Whippling, which is the final boss, and we've got his animations sorted and stuff, so we can take a little peek of this. So we've done all his static animations here. We've done a laughing animation for him, so a bit of a taunt. We've got like his summon animation there. And we've also got like a firing animation for him. But we haven't done these top ones, as you can see. So we need to do that direction and that direction there. And I've been working on this, like, kind of evil mist what's coming off him. I think the red and the black blends really well. So, yeah, that's, it turned out great, that. What else have we got? What else have we got? That's probably about it, really. I mean, there's been lots more done in the back end. Like, too much to, like, literally list here. Like, little minor things. I've had to implement some code, which, because when you build a game, like, the way I've built the game is it was made for 60 FPS, right? And if the logic falls like, lower than 60, it's fine. You know, it doesn't matter. But because I implemented 120 FPS mode, I think we can do an example here. So if we see this text here, the level text, you can see it like shoots off to about here and to about here. So if we do 60, restart the level, you can see it goes like even quicker, and that's because the logic is frame rate dependent for certain things. And that's a thing you want to not do, people, is program your game to operate logically at a certain frame rate, because you never know, you might want to implement more frame rates. You know, sometimes if you don't program your game properly and the FPS falls below 60, then you can have issues. So, yeah. That's about it, guys, I think, just for this update here. I'm pretty happy where this game's going. I really just need to crack on and do the Whippling sprites, get him programmed in. There's a couple of cutscenes as well, but I'm gonna have to draw because I can't afford to pay an artist to do it for me now. It's literally all the money for the Kickstarter has gone into the game. Like I literally didn't even touch any of that for myself to live on or anything. You know, we've I'll just be open and honest with you guys. I've put like £15,000 of my own money into this game for buying hardware, buying software, and other bits and bobs, and paying like an artist to do the characters and other little things. And then the Kickstarter money, which was 3,600, I believe, probably a little bit over. Yeah, that's all just went into the game. And sales for my game at the moment, then they're not amazing. Like I think, I don't know, I've made like $400. It's like nothing, is it? So compared to how much money I've actually put in the game. But you may be thinking, hey, you're a madman. You're putting this much money into a game. Why? And I believe in this game. I believe that it's a good game. It plays smoothly. It's something. It's a game I've always wanted to make, and it's a game that I always wanted to play on the Sega Mega Drive as well. Um, we had really big inspirations from games like Mercs and Shock Troopers and like Smash TV, Total Carnage. And these games played a big influence, but I always loved them games. But like for Mercs on the Mega Drive, it was a single player, and I was like, man, it would have been cool if it was like two players. Like the arcade was a three player. So I just thought for this game, it was perfect to make it into a two-player game. Like anything else, because there's a lot going on screen. Anything else, it can get a little bit disorientating and stuff. But yeah, guys. Anyway, thank you for listening to my ramblings about this next update coming. I know it's been, how long's it been since the last update? Let's just double check that actually. Peraglees. Yeah, guys, and it's $3.99 US now, and it's $3.39 now for the UK people. So, and it's even cheaper in other countries as well. We like arranged the prices per country, so it's more affordable for other countries and stuff like that. So, yeah, let's just check this last update here. So it was December the 3rd of last year. So it's not too bad. It's 2 months to this day right now. 2 months. And we've implemented quite a lot. Like the optimization of the entire game. So like we literally had to go through each one of these frames, replace every single old text splitter and replace it with the new text splitter. And yes, that's that was a big task. I got it done in a week though, like literally this week just gone. So I'm a little bit brain dead from doing that. But we also fixed bugs and we implemented the new FPS mode as well. I was gonna just the last note. I was gonna not replace. I was going to implement like a 10 FPS mode, a 15, a 30, a 60, a 120, a 144, and a 240 hertz mode. But to be fair, I don't think the game needs it. I mean, it'll be too much work for me at the moment. Maybe when the game is finished, yeah, and people are like, well, hang on. Like, let's just say 240 hertz monitors in the next 2 years become the norm. I don't think they will, but if they do, and like people request it, and the game's had enough sales, then yeah, I'll gladly implement it. But right, that's all for me, guys. I'm seriously gonna go now. So, right, I will catch you. Where's my mouse? Oh my god, where's my mouse? I'll catch you later, guys, and you have a good day and a good week and a good year, and do something productive as well with your time on this planet. See you later.